Hey, what's up, guys? Hey, what I want to talk to you guys about tonight is basically, you know, the timeline of the Idaho 4 case, which is all jacked up. Where does the timeline start? Yeah, it starts with the alleged. Yeah, now I'm not going to say the murders were alleged, but I'm going to say the person that they, have got sitting in that courtroom is the alleged killer, and I haven't seen any evidence that states he's the killer or not. Now, the victims, Kaylee, Maddie, Xana, and Ethan, they were normal college students. You know, Kaylee belonged to Alpha Phi. Maddie and Xana belonged to Pi Beta Phi. And of course, Ethan, he belonged to Sigma Chi. But if we actually look at it, okay, if we look at it, we've been lied to by the investigators from day one. Yeah, from the potential stalker that Kaylee had, which I believe was later debunked, to the lack of immediate suspects, because the day of the murders, you had the vandal alert go out, and then 3 hours later, it was retracted, and they stated just stay away from the area, uh, shelter in place, and that was the original vandal alert, was shelter in place, and then the second when they released it said there's no suspects that we know of has been captured, but just stay away from the area. Okay, that was the one red flag for me, was the shelter in place being lifted 3 hours later, and knowing that they didn't have a suspect in custody. That was the first red flag for me. The second red flag was the silence of the two roommates, Dylan and Bethany. And then you had Dylan, who was opening her door 3 times that night. Third time she saw the killer. Okay, why didn't you call 911? If you saw the killer walk through the house, why didn't you call 911? And we all know that the weapon used was a K bar, and they haven't found the actual murder weapon. They thought they were going to find it when they arrested Brian Koberger. They didn't find it, and that just leads me to believe that Brian is being framed for this, because you have key people involved in this case, like John's judge, who is retired, Brett Payne, who is no longer with Moscow Police Department, and of course Rosendahl, he left too. Okay, you have Brett Payne, who was the lead investigator on the case, and he left the Moscow Police Department, like left the police department altogether. So that makes me feel that this case, guys, is falling apart, because of course, you have the Gonzalez family, who's been so adamant that this guy's guilty, and they've been probably wearing their death penalty T-shirts when uh, this case was up in Latah County, and they got mad that he got to wear uh, street clothes into the hearings. and they did their own jury surveys. Which, I will tell you one thing. I believe that's why this case got moved was because they were doing their own jury surveys and contaminating the jury pool. That's why John Judge had this case moved to Ada County, and then of course he later retired. Because when he wrote the letter to the Supreme Court, for the change of venue being approved, he also wrote that he was retiring as well. Okay, that's one down. You have John Judge, and now you have Brett Payne, who up and left the force. What's going on here? What's going on in this case? And of course, you have all the inconsistencies that's going on in this official narrative that's been presented by law enforcement guys. And yes, I will get to the PCA because it's got a lot of conflicting statements in it. And we've heard that there was stalking of the victims, and we've also heard that coming from Bill Thompson that there was no evidence of stalking by the defendant. So we're still hearing this whole they were being stalked, when they weren't being stalked, and they came out of Bill Thompson's mouth that they weren't being stalked. Now, and we've also heard that it was a targeted attack. Oh, it was a targeted attack. But we don't know if the house was targeted or if the individuals in the home were targeted. And we've all heard that coming from Chief Fry. All we're going to say it was a targeted attack. We don't know if it was the house targeted or if it was the occupants targeted. And we've all heard Chief Fry say that. Okay, so which is it? Is it a targeted attack on the house? Or Kaylee, Maddie, Xana, and Ethan targeted? Or were just two of them targeted and the other two were collateral damage? That's what I would like to know. As me being a truth seeker, that's what I would like to know. If it was just one targeted, maybe Kaylee and Maddie were targeted, or maybe just Maddie was targeted, and the others were just collateral damage. And here's the thing though too. There was no, I repeat, no forced entry into that home. So if there was no forced entry, how did the perpetrator get in? Did he know the code to the front door? And yes, there has been witnesses that front door was left open all night long. So did the perpetrator come in the front door that was left open, or was that sliding glass door left unlocked, or did they ever lock it and the perp came in through the sliding glass door? That's what I would like to know, is the lack of forced entry into that home and the silence of the surviving roommates. I mean, mind you, it's been 2 years, not a peep. I know I know Bethany lawyered up. Yeah, yeah. As soon as they were interviewed by the ISP, Moscow PD, and the FBI, she lawyered up and she moved the hell out of Idaho. She moved back to Reno, Nevada, and she was fighting that subpoena for her to testify on Brian's behalf. Now, see, here's the thing: we also have, and we've heard Art Bettage state that it was possibly a crime of passion, or it could have been a crime of passion. You had Kaylee and Jack, who had broken up like 3 weeks before this entire scenario happened. Kaylee broke up with Jack and removed him from all of her social medias. And of course, you had Christy Gonzalez. Oh, they were just taking a break. They were just taking a break. They're gonna get back together. You know, they were gonna get back together and get married and have kids. And well, how would she know that? You know, because Kaylee unadded him from everything. That's not just taking a break. That's saying, get the hell out of my life. And what I find so perplexing, guys, is you had Maddie and Kaylee up there at the corner club, and they were talking. They were talking to somebody who looked like Jack, and then you had them walking to the grub truck with Jack Showalter, and you heard Jack Showalter say something to the effect of, "They're going to get you for this." And then you had Kaylee ask Maddie, "What did you tell Adam?" "I told Adam everything." Now we'll never know exactly what Kaylee was talking about when she said, "What did you tell Adam?" And Maddie said, "I told Adam everything." We'll never know exactly what she told Adam. Yeah, we'll never know exactly what she told Adam. And it's sad, guys. This entire thing is very, very sad. You know, 4 young college students lost their lives that night. But I feel like the real killer or killers is out there. That's the way I feel. I feel like the real killers are out there, and this guy is being framed because we've all heard old Nancy Disgrace and Steve G, when she interviewed him, he like literally said that Brian has been studying forensics for centuries. Like, Brian's 100 years old when he's not. Oh, he's been studying forensics for centuries. That made like no sense coming out of his mouth. And then when he stated that Brian was probably planning the murder of his daughter way before he came to Washington. Okay, well, for one, he more than likely didn't even know your daughter, and for two, that you see how ridiculous that sounds. Somebody in Pennsylvania who's more likely never heard of Kaylee, Maddie, Xana, and Ethan, is planning their demise while he's still in Pennsylvania before he even moves to Pullman, Washington. What I think is, I think they just want their sacrificial lamb. They just want, yeah, they just reinstated the death penalty. As far as the firing squad goes, they reinstated the firing squad, and I think they just want somebody to test the firing squad on. I hate to say it, but that's the way I feel. I feel like they just want to test the firing squad out on some innocent person, just so they'll see if it works. And the whole role, guys, the whole role of the media, sensationalizing, this case without even getting to the truth of the matter. I mean, you have Ashley Banfield, you have Nancy Grace, who buries Brian Koberger on a daily basis, and she buries his attorney too. Whatever happened to innocent until proven guilty? Whatever happened to that? Innocent until proven guilty. And this, the media in this case, guys, has saturated this case so much. They're up in Idaho and all across the country too. They have brainwashed the masses to, this guy's guilty, this guy's guilty, this guy's guilty, this guy's guilty, without even seeing the evidence. Nancy Grace is a big part in that. She's a big part in that. She sensationalizes everything she touches. Now, mind you, this is a high profile case, and it is. But we also got to be looking at the fact that this man, Brian Koberger, is being set up. And I believe he is being set up. And he's being set up, by the Moscow Police Department. I mean, I hate to say it, guys, but it's true. I mean, because if you look at it, why would you have freaking this Kathy Mabbitt, who is stating, mind you, stating for fact that all 4 victims were stabbed and they were all asleep. And we all knew that they weren't all asleep because of the TikTok activity, the DoorDash order. Xana had edged weapon injuries. Ethan had sharp force injuries. And of course, Maddie and Kaylee had stab wounds. My God, guys, Xana's fingers were nearly severed from this attack. And I would like to know why the coroner didn't get to the house until almost 5 o'clock. See, now, mind you, all the cop dramas that I've watched, like Joe Kenda and the First 48, and a lot of other cop shows. Normally, the coroner or medical examiner is right there beside the police examining the body, and they are not they aren't refused to be allowed in, because apparently in this case you had Kathy Mabbitt, who wasn't even called until like 5 o'clock in the evening, but she wasn't allowed in by the Moscow Police Department because they were still investigating. Well, I understand that normally you don't call the coroner until you're ready to release the body. Well, then why wouldn't they allow her in to view to view the bodies? Yeah, she had to wait until almost 5 o'clock in the evening. Yeah, and see, I don't buy this, this whole, narrative by Bethany. On the evening of November 12th of 2022, Chapin and Kernodle are seen by Funk at Sigma Chi House on the University of Idaho campus from approximately 9 p.m. to 1:45 a.m. Well, if that's the case, then how did Xana's dad talk to her on the phone at midnight? And she had stated that she was eating pizza with Ethan. And yes, there was a pizza box sitting on top of the trash, out there, sitting out there by the back door. But the cops didn't look at that, which just makes me wonder. But yeah, I think I'm gonna be doing a part 2 on this. Like always, guys, like, subscribe, and comment on my channel. Hit that bell notification for any new uploads, and let me know down in the comments what you guys think. What really happened? Because I don't, I'm starting to see through the police narrative in this case, because there's something going on here that I just don't like. Why would Brett Payne leave the force? Why would Rosendahl leave the force? Just makes you wonder. But you guys have a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. This is Robert with True Crime Podcast, and I'm out. Peace.